Hello, grade 7 students. This is day 24 of SDP Mathematics 2A lesson series. So today I am planning to revise the same topic we were discussing in the previous video, that is area and circumference of a circle, right? So then I will move to the relevant page and I will explain you few uh, examples. And so this is where we are. If I get this example, children, right? If I get this example, and I'll get the same example to calculate the perimeter as well as the area, right? Here I have, you can clearly see, I can have a half circle, right? I have an half circle, right? If I find the area first, so this is the center, and they have given 4 centimeter. 4 centimeter, that is the diameter they have given, right? First of all, you want to understand the information they have given. The phi value we want to find here 3.142, right? So then here I write the phi value we are going to use 3.142, and here that we know the radius should be 2 centimeters. If I want to find the area of this kind of a shape, you can clearly understand this is a half circle. So area of this, how do you find? First you get the area of the full circle, that is 5r squared, and that value you divide by 2. Okay. So then how do you expand this, children? I have 3.142 and R is 2 and R is 2, and you divide the whole thing by 2, right? Okay. Then you can easily get this. How? The 2 and 2 you can cancel, right? So then you can just multiply 3.142 by 2. What will be the answer? 6.284 centimeter squared, right? 6.284 centimeter square. That is the area of this half circle, right? Always you want to write the formula and you want to show the steps. And finally, when you are concluding the answer, you want to give the final answer with the correct units, right? Now I am moving to the perimeter part. I'll take the same half circle. I have the same half circle like this. And I know the diameter it is 4 centimeters. Those information given for me. Now I want to find the perimeter. Now children, to find the perimeter, I want to start from a particular point. First I go like this around the shape. So this is my first step. And then I move to this side and come back to its initial step. So then this is my second journey. To calculate the perimeter, so then how do you do? We have 2 steps, right? Perimeter, we have 2 steps. The first is the curve path, right? Curve path, and then we take the straight path. When you add them together, it gives me the outer boundary length of this shape, right? How do you get the curve path? You can see it is a semicircle. It is a semicircle. How do you get the perimeter of the semicircle? The full circle, it is 2, 5r. And to get the semicircle, you want to divide this by 2. So then 2 and 2 you can cancel. Now you have 5r. I expand this 3.142. I multiply by radius. So then it gives me 6.284 centimeter. This is just a length, not centimeter square. The straight path, so that is straight away it is the diameter value, right? It is the diameter value. Oh, 2r. 2r means diameter now. So then here I can write the value is 4 centimeters. So then I want to get the full perimeter. I want to add them together, right? So then I can write 10.284 centimeters, right? When you have this kind of shape, if it is the area, it's very straightforward. You think about the shape and You get the full circle value and divide by 2, 4. Sometimes if it is a sector, you want to divide it by 360 and multiply by whatever the angle value. We will discuss that kind of sum later. But for the time being, if you have a semicircle like this, to find the area, you get the full circle area and divide by 2. And then to get the perimeter, you want to start from one particular corner and you go around the shape. So first you go the curve path and then you go the straight path and come back to the initial position. That means you have covered the full figure. So then the semicircle, the curve path, it is a semicircle. How to find the perimeter of a full circle? It is 2, 5r. As this is a semicircle, you want to divide this by 2. 2 and 2 you cancel. 5 times r, 3.142 times r. That here you want to mark. So this is the r value. R should be half of that. That means 2 centimeters. And how do you get the straight path? Straight path equal to diameter. So then that is 4 centimeters. When you add them together, that gives me 10.284. Now I am moving to the next question. Question number 2. You can see a quarter circle. We call this a quadrant. 1/4 of a circle, we call this a quadrant. Now I'm going to draw the quadrant here. Let's say we have the quadrant like this. So then these are the radius and you have, these are the radius and you have the curve path like this, and always you should have 90 degrees. And here they have given this is 3 centimeter and here it is 3 centimeter. So then straight away we can use this, the r value is equal to 3 centimeter. Like earlier question, the phi value will be 3.142. How do you get the area, children? First you get the area of the full circle, that is 5r squared, and you divide it by 4. Why? This is a quadrant. This is a 1/4 of the full circle. Now I am going to substitute the things. 3.142 and the radius here it is 3 and here it is 3 and the whole thing you divide by 4, right? Now 3 times 3, 9. Then I write 3.142 multiplied by 9 divided by 4. Then how do you do this, children? That you want to recall your decimal multiplication knowledge which you gathered in grade 6. Here what you do, we forget about the decimal place and I just multiply 3142 by 9. Okay, so then what will be the answer? 9 times 2, 18, 1 remainder, 9 times 4, 36 plus 1, 37, and 9 times 1, 9, 9 plus 3, 12, 1 remainder, 9 times 3, 27, 27 plus 1, 28. Now you have 28,278. But in the question we had 3 decimal places, children. You want to start keeping the decimal places from the right side corner. And if you count 3 digits, it gives me 28.278 divided by 4. Then what I need to do? I want to do the division, but before going for the division, I just want to recheck whether my multiplication answer is correct. 9 times 2, 18, 1 remainder, 9 times 4, 36, plus 1, 37, 9 times 1, 9, plus 3, 12, 9 times 3, 27 plus 1, 28. Now it is correct. When you are dividing, if the denominator is a whole number, again what you do, children, you write 28,278 and you divide this by 4. 4 times 7, 28. So then 0, you bring this 2 here. For 2, how many 4s that you don't have? 0, 0, and you bring this 2. And here that's 7. 4 times 6, 24. And then you have 3 here. You bring this and it becomes 38. 4 times 9. Right? 4 times 9, 36 and 2 remainder. To continue this and finish this off, I take an imaginary 0, and when I take the imaginary 0, so this should be decimal, 4 times 5, 20, and it is 0. Now I am done. Okay. If I divide 28,278, I get by 4, I get the answer 7,069.5. But it was not that right. I had 3 decimal places. That means from this point, I should count 3 decimal places. Then here 1, 2, 3. My final answer should be 7.0695 centimeter squared. But if you can remember, they have given a special instruction for us. You want to correct the answer to 3 significant figure. The earlier one, I think we didn't consider that thing. If you want to correct this to third significant figure, this is the third significant figure. No? Then I look at the next number. When I look at the next number, I don't have anything to add. I just write 6.28 centimeter squared, and inside the bracket I write 3SF. This is how you want to write the complete answer. If I go to the perimeter value, again I want to do the same thing. So here this is the third significant figure. When you look at the next one, it is more than 5. Therefore, I have to write 10.3 centimeters. Inside the bracket I write 3SF. Okay, now I am moving to the second question answer. Here I got 7.0695 and I check the third significant figure. This is the third significant figure. And I look at the next number. If the next number is more than 5, we need to add 1 to the underlying number, no, children. So then that becomes 7.07 centimeter squared. And here I write 3SF. Right, now we are done with the quadrant area. Now I am moving to quadrant perimeter. The same quadrant I do have, right? Something like this. And then I have this, and this is the 90 degree. To find the quadrant of this, so then again I have something. I'll start like this. Wait, I'll start from this corner, this side time. I take the curve path, right? So this is the path 1, and I take a straight path here, number 2, and then I take another straight path and number 3, and I come back to the initial position. How do you get the perimeter then? I want to add all the 3 paths together. Perimeter is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3. You can draw the arrows like this and you can number them and add it like this. And then I know the one is what? It is the curve path. Curve path of what? It is a quarter circle, right? This is the curve path. I know the full circle, it is 25R. But here the curve path, I don't have a full circle. Instead, I have a quarter circle. Therefore, I divide this by 4. Right? When I simplify this formula, it gives me 2 times 1 and 2 times 2. Then my answer will be 5R divided by 2. What I do, children? I write 3.142 multiply by 3 divide by 2. And number 2 is what? It is the radius, right? It is the radius. Straight away you can write, then this one also the radius. So straight away you can write the answer. So what it is 3 centimeter, and here it is 3 centimeters, right? Here I have not written, I'll write it 3 centimeter and 3 centimeter. So then I'm going to the calculation here. You have 2 options. Either you can divide 3.142 by 2 and the answer you can multiply by 3, because 3.142 is an even number and you can divide it by 2. But whatever the method I used earlier, that it is 3,142, I multiply by 3. So then 3 times 2, 6, 3 times 4, 12, and 3 times 1, 3 plus 1, 4, 3 times 3, 9. 3 times 2, 6, 3 times 4, 12, 3 times 1, 3 plus 1, 4, 3 times 3, 9. Okay. So then what will be the answer, children? that it will be with 3 decimal places, 9.426, and you divide this by 2. So then how we are going to do this? You just write down now 9,426 divide by 2. 2 times 4, 8, and 1 remainder. So then here you have 14. 2 times 7, 14. Right? It is 0. Then you bring the 2 here. 2 times 1, 2. You get 0. Then you bring this 6 down. That is 6. It is 3, 6, and 0. That is done. But you want to keep decimal places now. How we are going to keep decimal places? You want to keep 3 decimal places, 713 centimeters. For this, you want to add 3 centimeters and 3 centimeters, the straight parts, right? So then if need that you can continue 4.713, 3 and 3. If need that you can put the zeros here as it's easier for you to do the addition. So then it gives me here 713. So that is 10. 10.713. So then here you write 10.713 centimeters. And this is the third significant figure. You look at the next number. So then straight away you can write 10.7 centimeters 3 SF. Okay. So that is all about the quadrant. First you want to understand then the quadrant area. You find the full circle area and divide by 4. Okay. And then you have the quadrant, the curve path, then the straight paths like this. And you have that you want to add them together. The curve path, you can find the full area full perimeter, full circle perimeter 25R. And you divide it by 4 as this is a quadrant. And we did the calculation and got the answer 4.713. For that, you want to add the straight edges 3 centimeter and 3 centimeter. It gives me 10.713. And when I corrected it to the third significant figure, the final answer will be 10.7 centimeters. Now I am moving to another question here. Look at this, the fourth one. If you have the fourth, this kind of question, children, now they have given like this. You have something like this and something like this, and you have the curve path like this. What is this angle? It is 120, something like this. And what is the radius they have given? 5. If this is 5 centimeters, this is also 5 centimeters. Can you remember the theory we learned? When you have this kind of equation, this kind of shape, first you want to understand what is theta value. That is 120 degrees. How do you get the area of this kind of a shape? If you can remember, first we get the full circle one, the full circle area 5R squared, and we divide this by 360 degrees, and you multiply this by the theta value, that is 120, right? What is the phi value here? 3.142. What is the R value here? 5 times 5 and multiply by 120 degrees, divide by 360. Here, children, that you want to have the practice, right? So when you see the numbers, you should be able to understand how am I going to simplify this. You know 12 and 36. There is a nice relationship. 12 times 3, 36. Then if you have 120, 120 times 3 should be 360. You should be thorough with the multiplication table by now because now you are in the grade 7 second term, right? So that you are about to move to grade 8, so which is the transition grade, whether you are moving to the Excel curriculum or the national curriculum. That means this is not a joke, that you should have a serious work by now. Then when you see these numbers, you should be able to understand. So 36 is a multiple of 12. 12 times 3, 36. In that case, I can take 120 times 1 and 120 times 3. That is done. Then I have 3.142 multiply by 25 and divide by 3. 5 times 5, 25. What I'm going to do now? So then I'm going to write 3,142. I multiply by 25. Now let's see how it works, right? So then you have something like this, right? 5 times 2, 10. 5 times 4, 20 plus 1, 21. So then 2 remainder. 5 times 1, 5. 5 plus 2, 7. 5 times 3, 15. That is done. Then 2 times 2, 4. 2 times 4, 8. 2 times 1, 2. 2 times 3, 6. So then you can add these together. Here it is 0, 5. So this is 15. And this is 2 plus 5, 7 plus 1, 8 and 7. How many decimal places you should keep, children? You want to keep 3 decimal places. So then I write 78.550 divided by 3. Now what you are going to do? You start the division. How? You take 78.550 and you divide this by 3. 3 times 2, 6. 1 remainder and you have this 18. 3 times 6, 18. Then you are done, 0. You bring this 5 down, right? And 3 times 1, 3. And you get 22. And when you bring this down, that becomes 25. 3 times 8, 24. And you have 1. And then here you have 0. 3 times 3, 9. With your practice, you should know what will happen now. That becomes recurring, right? This becomes recurring like this. How many decimal places you should keep here according to this question? 3. So then you want to move 1, right? You want to move 1, 2, 3. So then this should be 26.18333. No need to get that because finally we are correcting this to third significant figure. This is the third significant figure. You look at the next number. So then we can write 26.2 centimeter. This is area. Yeah, centimeter squared. This should be area. So centimeter squared. And you write 3SF. Okay. Then we will go to the perimeter value. How we are going to get the perimeter when you have this kind of shape, children? You have something like this, right? This is 120. And you have something like this, right? And what is the radius we had over there? It is 5 centimeters. 5 centimeters and 5 centimeters. Now I check that what kind of path I have. I start from here and I take the curve path as usual, the first thing. So then I take this path and then I take this path, come back to the initial position. This is 1 and this is the second step and this is the third step. How we are going to find the perimeter of this kind of thing, children? You want to add all the steps together, right? So you add 1 and then you have 2 and then you have 3 like this, okay? 1 is the curve path, right? Curve path. How we are going to get the perimeter of this kind of thing, if you can remember, this is a sector of the circle. Can you remember the full circle? It is 25R. That is the full circle value. And if you come across with the sector, first you want to divide this by 360 and you multiply by the theta value. Here the theta value is 120, children, right? You just multiply by 120. And this is the radius, right? This is the radius. And then this one also the radius. Okay, so then we will substitute the values and see how it works. So then here you have 2 times 3.142 times 5 times 120 degrees The whole thing you divide by 360 degrees. I will tell you an easy way to do. So these are all these steps. It should be come with your practice. 2 times 5, what is the answer, children? It is 10, right? 2 times 5, it is 10. 10 multiplied by 3.142 multiplied by 120, the whole thing you divide by 360, right? And earlier we simplified 120 and 360 easily. 120 times 1 and 120 times 3, that is done. Then when you multiply a decimal number by 10, recall your grade 6 knowledge. You learned if you are multiplying a decimal number by 10, 100 and 1000, what will happen to the number? You want to move to the right side. And I have told you when you were in grade 6, even though I'm telling the decimal man is moving to the right side, actually it doesn't happen. Only the place values are changing. But for easy reference, we just learn this. You are moving the decimal man to the right side. How many steps you should move? You move only one step because here we have 10. Then what is the answer I have here, children? I have 31.42 and I want to divide this by 3. What I am going to do? I write 3142 straight away as a whole number and I divide this by 3. 3 times 1, 3 and 0. You bring this 1. It is that for 1, how many 3's you have? 0. And here it is 0. Then you get 1. And you bring this 4 down. That becomes 14. 3 times 4, 12. And you have 2 remainder. You bring this 2 down. That becomes 22. 3 times 7, 21. Right? And then you have 1 remainder and you take an imaginary 0, put the decimal and it is 3 times 3, 9. Now you know what happened, right? 3 times 3, 9 and 1 and 10 again it is 3. That means this is recurring. Now the decimal man is here. How many decimal places we had in the question? 2 decimal places. So then you want to jump 2 steps here. So that becomes the 10.4733 like this. But I don't want to worry about the rest of the digits because I want to correct this answer to third significant figure. If I have 4 significant figure to conclude the answer, that is more than enough. Now here this is the third significant figure. I look at the next number. So then that becomes, that should be that the 10.5 centimeter. Oh, no. I made a mistake here, children, by that I didn't add the straight paths. I'm still in the curve path. The radius, the curve path, you have 5 plus 5, no? So then you want to add 5 centimeter and another 5 centimeter. Altogether, that becomes 20.4733. Right? So actually at this point that we are not checking the significant figure. So at this point only you want to find it. You look at the next number. So then your final answer will be 20.5 centimeter and you write third significant figure, right? Okay, children, the next the video I will discuss question number 3, right? And then question number 8 and question number 9. Please do these 3 questions. You want to find the area and the perimeter both. For these question number 3, 8 and 9, right? Only 3 questions, but you have like 6 questions to do before the next video. So then I will explain you how you can find the area and the perimeter when you have this kind of a compound shape. The compound shape in the sense that you have 2 or more shapes in the same shapes. That so far we had half circle or quarter circle or the dissector. But in question number 3, you can see you have a square and a half circle. Question number 8, you have a square and 4 half circles. And then the next one you have, the 9th one, you have a square and 2 half circles. So then those are compound shape. We will discuss these in the next video. You are supposed to find the area and the perimeter of these 3 shapes. Okay, children. So then we'll meet again the next day. Till then, stay safe. Keep in touch whenever that you get the notification. If you don't get the notification, you want to subscribe to the channel and click the bell button, that whenever I upload the videos, you get the notification. So then you can surely watch it, because this is your vacation now, the holidays. You have 25 to 30 more days to go to the school. So then you can do a good job during the vacation. Okay, children, we'll meet again next day. Till then, stay safe. Bye.